Punjab National Bank has been on an absolute tear, posting some seriously impressive profits. But, there's a huge multi-billion-dollar storm cloud gathering on the horizon that could change pretty much everything. So let's break down this really fascinating story of profit, provisions, and what's next. Have you ever wondered what it looks like when a major state-run bank more than doubles its profit in just a single year? Well, it looks a lot like this, 102.8%. That is the absolutely huge year-on-year profit growth for Punjab National Bank, or PNB as we'll call it. All right, so first up, let's dig into the numbers behind that incredible growth. PNB's recent performance hasn't just been good, it's been record-breaking. It really paints a picture of a bank that is in seriously robust financial health. The headline number here is, well, it's massive. A net profit of over 4,500 crore rupees in just one quarter. To put that in perspective, that's more than double the profit from the exact same period last year. That is a huge leap, no matter how you slice it. And this isn't just about making more money. The bank's actual foundation is getting a whole lot stronger. These bars here represent what are called gross non-performing assets. You can just think of them as bad loans. PNB has managed to slash that ratio by over 2 percentage points in just 1 year. That is a really powerful sign of improving health. And the success here is really across the board. It's not just one area doing well. You look at their total business, their deposits, their loans, it's all seeing double-digit growth. It really shows that the entire engine of the bank is running smoothly. So, with numbers like these, you'd think it's nothing but blue skies ahead, right? Well, not so fast. There's a regulatory storm brewing that is going to put the bank's newfound strength to the ultimate test. And this is where we get to the core of the challenge, a predictable and frankly enormous financial shock that's on the horizon. We're talking about a staggering 9,000 crore rupees. And here it is, straight from the source. The Reserve Bank of India is changing the rules of the game with a new regulation. It's called the Expected Credit Loss Framework, or ECL. And for PNB, it comes with a very, very hefty price tag. So what does that number actually mean for the bank? Well, think of a bank's capital like its financial shock absorber. This 9,000 crore hit is going to shrink that buffer, and it's going to reduce a key financial strength ratio by almost a full percentage point. It's a pretty significant dent in their armor. Okay, so before we see how PNB plans to handle this, let's take a second to break down this new rulebook. What in the world is the ECL framework, and why is it causing such a massive financial shock? In the simplest terms, the ECL framework is all about being proactive. It's forcing banks to basically look into a crystal ball, predict future loan losses, and set aside money for them now, before a single payment has even been missed. This visualizes the change perfectly. It's a fundamental shift. The old system was totally reactive. Banks only acted after a loan already went bad. The new ECL model, it's proactive. It forces them to prepare for just the possibility of a future problem, which is meant to make the entire banking system a lot safer. Now, the good news for the banks is that this isn't all happening tomorrow. The transition period doesn't even kick off until 2027, and it's going to be phased in over 5 years. So that gives PNB and other banks a good amount of time to prepare for it. So, how is PNB planning to handle this 9,000 crore challenge? Because despite that massive figure, the bank's leadership and, interestingly, experts, they seem remarkably confident. Wow, that's a pretty powerful statement from the bank's CEO. What he's saying is, basically, PNB won't need a bailout. They won't need to go out and raise new capital. Their business is now so profitable that they can absorb this massive hit entirely through their own regular earnings. And hey, it's not just the bank's own leadership patting themselves on the back here. Financial analysts, the folks looking in from the outside, are echoing that very same confidence. For example, take a leading brokerage firm like Motilal Oswal. They still consider PNB a top pick among public sector banks, and they're specifically highlighting its strong balance sheet, even with this huge regulatory challenge looming on the horizon. And if you dig into the details, you can see why they're so confident. We're talking a maintained buy rating, projections for continued steady growth. Analysts actually expect the bank to hit some key profitability milestones right around the same time these new rules are set to kick in. So here's where we land. PNB is celebrating record profits, but at the same time, it's bracing for a huge financial hit. The bank says it's ready, and the market seems to agree. And that leaves us with a really fascinating final question. Could this massive challenge, which is designed to force caution, actually be the very thing that transforms PNB into an even stronger, more resilient bank for the future? Thanks for joining me for this one.